Hello, everyone. Welcome to CPA Review and More. This is Phil Yaeger, and I'm your, what would I call it myself? My master of ceremonies of this podcast. And by the way, now we are taking the podcast and we're making it also on video. This will be on video too. And we have today a guest who was on before, and I brought him back because he was just so good the first time. You know, we couldn't get in all of his information. And luckily, you just didn't hear 5 minutes ago when he insulted me, but that's okay, Ilya. That's all right. It's okay. Ilya is the co-founder, I don't know who the other founder is, of TaxDome. And Ilya has a company called TaxDome, and what he's going to do is give an illustration today of the TaxDome software, correct?
That's correct. Thanks for having me on, Phil.
You're welcome. And with me today is some guy I picked up on the street, Sonny. Hi, Sonny.
Hi, Phil.
Good. All right. Sonny was invited to the party. So anyway, very quickly, to go back and just summarize what we talked about very quickly last time, Ilya, how'd you get into this company? You're a CFA. You're not an accountant, right? But
that's correct.
How'd you get your tax background? Do you have a tax background at all?
So myself and my co-founder, we've been in software development for accounting firms for almost a decade. And we were internal IT for a large accounting firm. And we built out their practice management system, customized practice management system. And that firm was very successful and grew from 10 people to almost 80 in 7 years' time.
Oh.
And we really saw that the key to their success, and really the key to most businesses' success, and this is not unique to accounting, but for them especially, was their software package. And we saw that they were able to scale their business, they were able to communicate with their clients effectively, and really handle all sorts of administrative tasks that a business requires outside of the actual tax. Right. So outside of what they do in their, Lacert or Pro Series or Drake or their tax programs, there's a million things that have to happen. And they were wildly successful at that because of what we built for them. So three years ago, my co-founder and I decided to build a new company called TaxDome, which would enable other accounting firms, not a customized software for one firm, but for other firms to simply sign up and have as what's called software as a service, where you pay a monthly fee and you're able to have a super easy to use software package to really take care of everything you need for your practice. So that's what TaxDome is we believe that especially for small to medium-sized firms, you don't need to use 10 different software vendors to accomplish what you need in the normal course of business. That realistically, you need to work with your tax program, your bookkeeping software, whatever software that you actually deliver the item that you're selling. But then for all of the business aspects, such as, we'll get into the specifics, but for all of those other things that you need to do to run a business, we think that you should have one integrated solution. And that's what TaxDome is.
Do you have, is there one company who's a competitor? Is there anybody who does this type of thing? The complete solution to manage your practice? Do you have a competitor in TaxDome?
There's certainly competitors. So we did not invent the term practice management, and we're not first. But much in the same way that Facebook wasn't first, right?
But how are you going to point out I'm curious, how are you different from and I don't know, is Lacert the leading? They don't do managing of your practice, correct?
So there's several ways to look at competitors. So there are what you mentioned, Lacert. So Lacert is a tax software that also offers ad hoc some additional, Intuit offers additional services that you can use for practice management. They have a tool for portal, and they have other services within that sphere. But it's still very limited, where if you're using something offered to you by your tax program, you still need to find other vendors to do all these other things that your business requires. Then you have what we call kind of the one-trick pony. And those are, and I don't mean that in any belittling sense, but simply they are feature programs. So for instance, DocuSign. DocuSign, in the course of business, if you're working electronically, especially in today's day and age, that's a requirement. their business is collecting signatures, and that's all they do. So if you use a vendor such as DocuSign, which is great at what they do, you still need 10 other vendors to accomplish the other business goals that you need. The same way for if you're using simply a tool that's a client portal. That client portal, which allows you document storage, you still need an invoicing system. You still need a project management system. So that's where you have the project feature tools that you still require many different vendors. And then finally, you have what we are, which is an integrated solution, which combines a lot of these different tools into one. And now what separates these companies is approach. So for us, we are a cloud first and user experience approach company. So there's companies that have been around forever, that have been doing this for a very long time, and they've got tons of functionality, right? But the problem is it's buried so deep underneath. It's been building for so many years, and people have no idea how to use it. And we believe that user experience is at the forefront of software, right? So we want software to be easy to use for all of these stakeholders. So it needs to be easy for you, let's say you're the owner of the company. It needs to be easy for your staff, especially if you hire part-time staff, right? So the longer they take to learn your software, the more money you're losing. And especially important, it needs to be easy for your clients, because you're working in this system every day, and after a while you'll figure it out, no matter how complex it is. But your clients, they deal with you once a year, once a quarter, but not in the day-to-day. And for them, it's critical that the software is super simple, super easy to use, and really accomplishes the goal that they need, which is to either fulfill something that you need them to provide, sign a signature, pay a bill, whatever it is that they need to do in the course of business with you. It needs to be really simple. So for us, user experience and integration are really the foundations of what our business is based upon and what separates us from other companies.
And before we move on, I just want to mention, I am not affiliated in any way with TaxDome. I'm not compensated as an endorser. I'm here just to show people the program, and to show you what's available in the marketplace. So Ilya, I'll let you start and take over, watch the tour, okay? All right, go ahead, I'll let you go.
You got it. Thanks, Phil. So one of the things that we'll cover here today is, if you notice, we're right on our homepage. And aside from being easy to use once you're using the product, we want to make it easy to use as you're even getting acquainted and you're learning what's out there. So right from our homepage, you can access what we call a simulated account. And everything that I'm going to show you is going to be inside of the simulated account. Now, we created this demo account accessible right through this button, specifically so that you can toggle between, in a read-only fashion, what all of the stakeholders that I mentioned, such as yourself, your clients, and your employees will see. So as you can see here in the very top, there's a toggle, client, firm owner, and employee. And while I'm going through these, I'm going to show you how easy it is to use and how everything interplays with one another and how it's integrated. So right here, the first thing we're starting off is on the client side. And I want you to see how easy and clear this is, because this is really one of the biggest reasons that people come to TaxDome is people love the client portal.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see how it really accomplishes exactly what they need. How to contact your accountant, and everything is branded to the business, I will add.
Okay.
They can pay you, and they can make prepayments. They can see the documents that are there for them, and they can see messages that that you've either created for them, or they can message you as well. And this is just from the homepage. So people find it really easy. They find that they can accomplish what they need, and they don't have to, putz around a software without really realizing how it works. Okay. Now, one of the other things is, as an accountant, you'll know that there's many people that you're working with where you're working not just with their one account, but you might have a business or, several businesses that they're working on. And I don't know about you, but I personally do not like having to remember all these different logins. So in many systems, you log into your business account, you have to log out and log in with a different email to go to your personal account and so forth. We've solved for that by when you have access to multiple accounts. If you notice in the bottom left corner, I can click on the name and toggle between the accounts that I have access to. And this is super useful especially for your clients, because they don't want to have to remember passwords. That's one of the things that people really don't like, and this really gets around that. On top of that, if you're using our mobile app, they can log in with their face or biometric scanning, so they never have to remember their password to begin with. So we really try to make it as easy as possible for the client. Within here as well, your client can, as mentioned, they can pay their bills, they can see their messages, but they can also sign documents electronically. So instead of having to send your clients to a separate page to get their signatures, they can sign their documents right within the same exact system that you're sending them. So by aggregating everything, you're making life simpler for your clients.
So we're talking about, this is the balance on an account, right? And what are you writing out of this account? It's just for the taxes, or what is this being used for?
Anything you want. So this means that this client has an invoice pending of $800 that they owe the company, and they have transparency to everything. So instead of being sent to a different system to go see their bills, this client can now see all of their bills, the history of them. They can see their payments, the history of their payments, whether they were credit card payments, whether or not anything was refunded. It's transparent. Everything is in one place. So this allows your client to, not have to ask you, oh, hey, what did I pay you last year? Or, hey, did I pay this bill or did I not? They have access to everything. The same way they have access to their documents. They don't have to call you and say, oh, can you resend me my W-2? Can you resend me my tax return? At any point from their desktop, from their mobile phones, doesn't matter if they're on vacation in Aruba, they can access their documents without having to bug you, right? I mean, that's one of the biggest things, is reducing your time and the firm's time on administrative tasks. And by having access to the information at the client's fingertips, you can save your company time and really provide value to your clients, because they're not paying you to be an administrative assistant. They're paying you to do a great job on their tax return or bookkeeping or whatever it is that you're doing for them. But you don't want to be an assistant. And this way, the system takes care of all that for you.
Okay. And I see on the left that if you can give your clients organizers, correct?
Exactly. So these organizers can be customized. So it's not just one standard. So in the world of tax, I mean, everyone's familiar with the word organizers, but the way organizers were in the olden days, so to speak, were a PDF form that your client would print out, and your client would then handwrite it, and then they would print it out and mail it to you. And then you have to deal with a piece of paper, and you have to, your client has to mail it. It's an inefficient process. Here, you can create customizable organizers that are specific to the client's case, and they can also be, what I'll show you on the firm side, can be created automatically. So as soon as your client enters into what we'll call workflows, you can have a specific organizer sent to them that fits their specific case. So in this instance, and we have templates for this. So this is one of the templates, which is a prospect questionnaire that one of our firms created. And you can get information from your clients that they can complete. It auto saves right from their mobile device, from their phone, on their couch while they're watching Netflix. They can be completing the organizer that they need. You can have dates, you can have multiple choice, you can ask them to upload documents. You can really customize this fully to your needs. And then your client is able to complete this on the go. And this is a huge time saver, both for firms and for clients, especially with the automation aspect, is where you're not manually creating one of these for each client, but they can be triggered to be sent when certain things happen. And we'll cover that when we transition over to the firm side.
Do you have, people, CPAs want to have engagement letters with a client. Have you created an engagement letter if someone wanted to send it to their client?
They definitely can, in the sense of a signature. So by using our signature, you can upload any document, and then your client, so if I go here to documents, signatures, as an example here, you can create fields. And this client will, this is an 1120, but it could be any file. You can put fields where you want the client to sign, date, or initial, and then they are asked to complete it. This is a read-only, which is why I can't do it on here.
But you have not created an engagement letter.
Not yet, but that is actually one of the features that's been requested. So we have our paying clients have access to a feature request board. And in that board, they're able to, as it sounds, request features that they need for their business. And as well, they can see the features that others have requested. They can upvote them. So if you see something that someone else came up with, you can say, oh, this would really help. This would really help my business. You can upvote that. And when we see more votes on a specific feature, we know that that's something that people really want. So that helps us to ensure, as we continually improve and continue to put out new features, we want to make sure that we're putting out features that are relevant to our firms and are really help solve the problems that they have. So one of the features, as you mentioned, is engagement letters. So here we already have signatures and we already have the ability to have everything in the client portal. The only thing that's missing is the ability to have a templated document that you place this on that can also get sent automatically. And we're actually in the process of doing that. So clients, within the next quarter, you will have the ability to have engagement letters built in the system as well.
Okay. And one question, sometimes people have trouble. They don't know where to enter the information. They know where it goes on a tax return, but they don't know where to go. What kind of support do you furnish?
So support is available at any point. So
is it a chat room or is it an actual person?
No. It's an actual person. So we're available by phone, by chat, and we also have, if I come back to click to the firm side for a second, we have this little question mark where you can contact us, and this is a demo account, so you won't have it, but there's a chat with us, and you can also call us at any point, and our team is here. Now, what we offer is this is all processed. So we have a process whereby someone joins our demo. So we host a demo every single day during the week, and there's a video if you're not able to attend during the day. And after you attend the demo, we have an one-on-one onboarding session. And the goal for that is really to get everybody on the same page and to answer questions that are really specific to your firm as you get started in using the system. Because we want everyone and everyone at your company to really know how to use the system. There's no fees for any of this. We're incentivized to have our clients know how to use the system. So we certainly offer support, and it's all included.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep, for sure. So now we're back on I clicked on the firm side. And again, this is the read-only mode. So I can toggle between what the client sees, what the firm sees, and what your staff would see. The other thing I wanted to mention that I kind of glossed over, but if you notice, this doesn't say genericportal.com/your company. It says sampletaxfirm.com. So for you, if your CPA firm was yaegercpa.com and you own that domain, your clients would be going to yaegercpafirm.com/app. So everything is branded to you. Your logo, even all the way down to your URL, right? So TaxDome is really nowhere to be seen. The relationship is between you and the client. We want you to really, be able to own your brand. So this allows you to do that instead of, as you mentioned, other sites, they send their clients to a generic portal site, which is just a different user experience. Okay. So now I'm here, I'm on the firm owner side, and I'm looking at that same account of Charles Burns, okay? And I want you to see just how clear, again, everything is we're looking at the overview, how clear, easy everything is on the firm side. So I can see the recently added documents by the client. And this is the overview. So this is a brief snippet, and I can go to the specific tabs to get all the rest of the information. But this gives me the last 5 documents. I can see the tasks that we're working on and who's working on them, what the priorities is of these tasks and the status. Next, and this is huge, especially for people with bigger teams, is your email syncs into here. So right now I'm talking to Phil and Sunny. Now imagine both of you are running a CPA firm and your client emails Sunny but doesn't email Phil. Okay, now Phil doesn't know what's going on because he's not on the email chain. By having this email sync, Phil will be able to see all of the emails between Sunny and the client, even though they're not addressed to Phil. And not only that, but you don't have to be CC'd on emails anymore because you can, as long as you have access to the account, you'll be able to access it from here. So you use your existing email, your existing, your yaegercpa.com email, your Gmail, your Outlook, anything, and you sync it into here. And this will auto filter for any emails between you, everyone on your team, and everyone on this client's account. So perhaps Charles, his spouse, his son, whomever.
Okay.
So this is really a huge feature because it helps. We all know how many emails we get. So being able to reduce email clutter to only leave the emails that are specifically for you and not just as an FYI to make sure you're not left out of the loop is a huge time saver by not having excess emails. But you don't lose access. You have access at any point.
Okay. By the way, does this show you you don't get emails? If I didn't get emails, and I'm the owner of the firm, and I see a lot of correspondence between this client and a specific preparer. All right. Does this act as any type of internal control to tell me that perhaps this person is trying to steal my client?
Well, you have access to it at all times. So, that's kind of the beauty of it is that at all points, your employee knows that this email is going to be read by everyone at the company. So he's likely not going to be emailing. I'd like to steal your business elsewhere because he knows that
but
it'll be
I'm
read.
saying he could be getting the information, trying to show how nice he is, and really, I'm not getting an email because he doesn't want me to know what's going on. All right, you're saying I will know what's going on because I can just go here.
Exactly. You'll go here, and not only that, but you'll be able to you'll see the emails in our notification center, which I'll cover in a little bit. So, but the real simple way of looking at it is you maintain all control while having much more organized stream of information.
Okay.
So everything is fully accessible to you at all times. Okay.
Sounds
Now,
good.
right below that, we also have messages. So email is, as we all know, not secure. And especially in today's day and age, accounting firms really need to worry about security. And the IRS is really stressing this much more so in their publications. So you don't want your clients to send you their W-2 over email, despite what this says right here, but you want to do it over secure messages. So if you think about it, your bank doesn't send you, your credit card statement isn't attached in email. It says, your Chase Bank statement is ready, click here. And then you have to go behind a secure portal to access that. And that's what these messages are. So these messages are secure messages that are between you and your client. You can have a little chat thread about a specific topic. You can attach documents, but this is secure, and it's behind, if your client attaches files here, this will automatically go into their documents. And it's a lot easier to have everything organized in a chat thread, which you can then archive once it's done, than 1,000 emails, right? Try searching for the word W-2 in your email right now in Gmail. It's a nightmare. But when you have everything organized, and this document, as mentioned, gets automatically placed into the document section, this really saves you time. And the same way on the client side, they get an email when you send them a message, and they can see this right here. They have the same chat thread, and they can respond to you, upload documents, and so forth. So especially all those times when someone says, oh, I never did this, I never sent you that, this is fully transparent. They can see all the communication right here and then. Especially now, so many more people are using text messages to commute with their clients. Text messages, the problem is it's just hard to track, right? It's one long stream of information, whereas this allows you to create specific threads that then can be closed once they're done. So it's like a chat, but organized.
So I find on an email, sometimes it's so difficult to follow this, the string. Is that what you call it?
Exactly, it is, because there's you get once you have 10 email threads, it's you get the little it's called threading, but it's very hard to keep track of, whereas in one of these chats it's much more organized, and this is different than an actual just SMS message, which is just very difficult to keep track of on your side, right? Because you're dealing with hundreds of clients or maybe thousands of clients. That's very difficult to be chatting with them in a disorganized manner.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
Next, you can see the bills. So right away, you can see all the invoices that are right from here. And this syncs with your QuickBooks Online. So if your client pays your bill in here, the bill automatically gets marked as paid in your QuickBooks Online. So you don't have to manually reconcile anything.
Do you have a relationship with QuickBooks, a business relationship to work with them?
Not in a
You don't
No,
need
so
one. You don't need one, do
you
you?
don't need one. So you have, they're called integrations. So
Okay.
Quick QuickBooks allows their system to be integrated with, because they want other vendors to do the same thing.
Okay.
So the same way we integrate with a payment processor, right? So you can make payments in here, but we're not actually processing the payment. We're not a payment company. You would use a company called Stripe, which is the actual back end of the payment. And Stripe is, you know, a $20 billion company that manages payments all over the internet. So, but we integrate with these other vendors to accomplish those tools.
Okay.
Okay. And next we mentioned we have, you can not only request signatures, which we talked about, and you can do signatures for, you know, husband, wife, multiple people if you have a business and so forth. So you can do signatures right in here, and it's all unlimited and it's included. So you don't have to send your clients to a different system. They're paying right in, they're signing right in the same system. You can also do approvals. So let's say you prepare a tax return, or you prepare, you know, a monthly report for a client, and you need their feedback. What do you think? Is this good to go? Do you have any, you know, do you have any comments? You can ask that the document get be approved, and then the client is prompted to either approve or disapprove the document, which is super helpful because now you have a paper trail of that instead of having to, you know, chase after your clients. Okay.
Good.
The other thing that we haven't mentioned is the chasing after clients. So having to follow up on clients, you know, hey, we need your information. Hey, your bill is still unpaid. Hey, we need this signature. It's a pain, and nobody should be doing that in today's day and age. In our system, it will auto nag the clients. So you can fully set that up when you send a message. I want to set reminders, and then you control the parameters of which your client will be reminded that, hey, we need your answer to this. Hey, we need your signature. Hey, your bill is unpaid. So instead of having to spend all your time on this manual follow-up, this is all done by the system automatically.
Okay.
Okay. So now what I want to show you is our workflow. And this is what I mentioned in terms of having things happen automatically. So I'm actually going to switch over to not the read only, but to my actual account. Give me 1 second here. Excuse me, I'm just switching over the account. Second. Apologize, just switching over my browser. Okay.
For those who are wondering, where is Ilya located? And the answer is he's in, are you in Brooklyn, New York?
Yes, I am.
He's in Brooklyn, New York. And by the way, people who use your system, like, you know, I can only go by Lacert. I think Lacert, you can actually pay and buy the software, and they don't charge you per return. Or if you're doing less returns, you don't really need a, you know, you charge per return. How does your program, how do you charge the CPAs? Okay.
Really simple. So I just pulled up our pricing page. So this is fully accessible from our homepage pricing. We charge per firm user. So it's unlimited clients, unlimited storage, unlimited signatures, unlimited everything. The only thing you're paying for is number of seats at your company. So if it's your company is you and Sunny, you would be paying for 2 people, and you guys can have 1 million clients under your control. It's you know, our goal
So
is to
we would pay
provide.
$100 per month?
You pay, so the way we do it is, yes, very simply put, but you would pay it on an annual plan. So we offer either an annual plan, which is $600 per year, or a monthly plan of $75 a month.
Okay.
So very clear and simple, so that you, as your company grows, you know, if you get 30 more clients, you're not paying us more money. In the same way, everything is included from a storage perspective. So if you upload 50 more documents, you're not going to get billed at the end of the month for having more storage. It's all unlimited. Okay. So I wanted to switch over to our workflow. So what this is at every company, one of the hardest things to figure out is, where are the clients in the process, right? So people have different tools that they use. They use spreadsheets, they use Post-its, but they use lots of different systems. But this is, in talking to accountants, this is one of the biggest struggles that they have. In where are the clients in the process? What do I need to do? Who am I waiting on? And so forth. So we have created pipelines for that. Now, if you notice over the top here, corporate return 1040 Canadian, these are just different pipelines. And what these are business processes. And you'll be able to see where the clients are in the process, specifically within that process. So you can make these whatever you want, whether it's payroll, corporate, this is just text, you can name it. And this is fully customizable. So your corporate return maybe has 5 steps that the client goes through, and they move from left to right as they go down the pipeline. Or maybe your 1040 has slightly more steps. Maybe your 1040 has 9 steps that they go through. And we have a lot of clients in Canada. This one just has 4 steps. And you can see where the client is in the process.
So you have chartered accountants in Canada, is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, we have. So we have.
And
yep.
you have all the forms they need?
So we don't provide you the forms. You provide whatever forms you need.
Well,
so
I meant, can a Canadian chartered accountant, all right, use your services?
100%, 100%. Okay. So we've got clients in Canada, we have clients in the UK, outside of the US. These are some of our bigger markets. But the same way that you can use Dropbox or DocuSign in other countries, the same way you can use TaxDome, in that it's a fully customizable, integrated practice management system that any business can use to really help them maintain their processes. And that's really agnostic of countries. Now, what separates us from generic project management systems is that this is built for accountants. So we understand what you need. We understand the specific nuances and features that you need to communicate with your clients, and we provide that in a really easy manner in one place. And so and it doesn't matter where you are, understanding where in the process your clients are is really critical. And to be honest, in any business, but especially in accounting, where many businesses have so many clients in the pipeline, right? Where you're not working with 3 clients, many accountancies have 1,000, 2,000 clients, and you need to really understand where they are in the process. So if you notice here, I can see these little numbers. Do you see 2, 1, 4, 2? So, and these numbers are automated actions, automated tasks that were created based upon the settings that I made. So Globex Corporation, there's one task associated with this stage, and the color helps give me a visual of what's overdue. So red means that, this task, if I go to the actual task, this task is overdue, whereas the gray ones are not yet approaching the deadline. So when all the tasks are done in a stage, this is going to turn green, and I know I'm done everything I need to for Globex in this stage. And now I know I can move them over to the next stage and so forth.
Did I understand correctly what you said? Your program does not print forms? I can see the forms that I'm preparing for the client, correct?
Yeah, of course. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Do you have all of the forms possible that, in most cases, to prepare an individual for a US client and also for Canadian? Is that correct?
So you would use whatever program you use. So you would still use Lacert, and in Canada they have, you would still use that to prepare the document. And then once the document is prepared there, then the document goes into TaxDome to, the same way that you would save the file somewhere.
Basically a management of the returns, okay? To
Exactly.
make sure that they get out, all right, and they don't fall through the cracks.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And not only that, but so we have an integration with every program through our print driver. So if you're working in your Lacert, to get your old program to the client, you simply print to TaxDome. So what that means is you click File Print, and instead of selecting a PDF or your local printer, if you were going to physically print it, you just select TaxDome, and it'll get uploaded right into this client. So
Lacert does not do management. Is that correct? Of the practice?
I'm not sure. I don't know. But
well, they're owned by Intuit.
Well,
is Intuit competing with you in any way?
Intuit definitely has competing products with us for sure. Okay. But one of the things that people why they also come to us is they don't want to be beholden to their tax program completely, because then they're stuck with it. So then they, they're even more bound by it. Where if they use something else for their practice, many firms prefer to have their practice management separate from their tax program specifically for that. But we complement tax programs, right? So
Okay.
we are not trying to replace Assert or Drake or any of those. We work in tandem with them to help a firm accomplish its needs. What we replace are all the other tools that you need. So such as e-signature, document storage, portal, and so forth. So the other thing, as I mentioned, is the automation. So I'm going to show you something. When this client moves over to the next stage, I get a little pop-up. And this is how I designed my workflows. So I said that when someone goes into that second stage, I want these automations to happen. I want a task to get created, and these are from templates that can be created and modified. This task to get created, this task to get created, and an email to go out for the client. So think of it another way is, imagine you finish working on a client's file and you want to let the client know that your tax file has been e-filed. You can either go to your program, go to your email and manually email them, or this system can do this all automatically for you depending on the automations that you set up. And the emails and the tasks that you want to get sent in this pipeline could be completely different than your March payroll pipeline and so forth. So this is where the customization comes into place, where each specific process can be fully customized to the needs of not only the firm, but to the firm's individual business lines that they're working on.
Okay.
So this is a massive time saver from having to, every time that you move work on to the next person, you have to then do this manually. This can be all automated. And this nice little helper says that, remember there was that little one. So this means that there's a task outstanding. And this says, hey, actually, we notice you have an unfinished task. Let's mark it. I can either mark it complete, keep the task if we're still doing it, or I can delete it. So move this over, mark it complete. And these two tasks have now been created, and an email went out to this client based off of the automations that I set up.
How much time does an average, small accounting firm take to get to know how to work with this system? Does it require a lot of, time?
No, not at all. I mean, that's the beauty of it, is that it's fully customizable. I think people struggle when their systems are rigid.
Generic, right.
They're rigid, whereas here, when we work with you, we don't try to, number one, as mentioned, there's support, right? So we offer you one-on-one onboardings, but during those onboardings, we don't try to push you into our process. We try to learn, okay, how do you do things? And then try to optimize for that, because we don't want you to change the way you do things. You've got a process that you've probably been ironing out for, 10, 20, 30 years. But the goal is to make it more efficient, and then try to find optimizations within there. So that's why we are here to help set it up, but it's definitely very easy to learn. And that's really one of the, as mentioned, the things that we really focus on is the user experience. We want it to be easy and clear, both for you and your clients.
Okay.
Okay. So if I go back to Charles, I also want to know, if I'm looking at Charles, I want to know, okay, well, where is he in the process? These are the pipelines that he's in. So these are all the projects that we're working on. And I can see on the corporate return, we're on his estimated taxes stage. 1040, we're on the review stage, payroll, review info. So these are all the different projects that we're working on. And if I go here, view all, I can see this in a different visualized format. So I know that, okay, we're just starting this project. We've got a bunch of stuff left to do here. Whereas on his 1040, we're almost done here.
I look at this and I think, and I might have discussed this with you last time, the baby boomers. I'm a baby boomer, okay? And, our generation, we don't like to, we don't like new things, all right? Do you find, because a lot of people, the baby boomers are still working. They've decided they don't want to retire, all right? What kind of opposition do you get from the baby boomers to doing this type of thing, all right? Is there opposition?
Not really, to be honest, because we're not in the business of trying to convince people to go to the internet, right? And that we're not in the business of advising people how they should run their business. People come to us because they realize that it's kind of a sink or swim, and especially COVID has had a massive impact on that, where people that were brick and mortar for so many years and had planned on doing that till retirement were suddenly faced with, I can't meet my customers face to face. I can't do business like I used to, and I need to be much more efficient and being able to work remotely because I have no other option. So people come to us because they're looking for a solution, and they see how easy it is to use, and they know that they want to change, and they come to us because it's so easy to use our system, and that transition is much easier to do. We also have people that come to us that are using tons of different systems and are frustrated because none of them accomplishes all the things that they need. So there's a lot of different reasons why people come to us, but generally people are always looking for a solution. I think we're past the point where people are wondering, do I need a system like this? But people realize that they do, and it's just a function of, okay, which system will work the best for me? And especially, I mean, you're in the Yaeger CPA review, so you're dealing with a lot of people that are more up and coming, right? So these are people that are just about to pass the CPA and maybe go work for somebody, or maybe start their own business. And the earlier that you can transition into having a system instead of just working by email, for instance, the quicker your business can be optimized, and you can really focus on adding value instead of working menial tasks back and forth.
With this virus that occurred, there's always good things about it in a way. It may be hard to believe, but I think what's happened is, I think a lot of people are going to go to virtual functions. Like, I can run an accounting firm now and interview someone on Zoom. All right. And I don't know if people really thought about that before. So this is more or less said, hey, you know what? This makes it easier. All right. But the question is this: how do you do an interview, all right, where it's secure? It's totally secure. Is there anything like that? If you do a Zoom call with someone to interview them to do their tax return, all right, is that call secure?
Well, the beauty of this is that you can use any video systems that you wish,
Yeah,
if you choose to do that.
All right.
But one of the difference here is that you don't even have to have that interview, because as mentioned, if you have that organizer sent to the client, they can complete this. Because when you do an interview, a lot of the times you're really just reading them these questions, right? You're essentially doing this over the phone with them. And what I'm pulling up this organizer again, you're really just doing this over the phone, right? But what firms are finding is that they're able to send these to their clients, and again, automated through those pipelines. And then the clients can complete this on their own time from their couch while watching Tiger King, instead of having to stay on the phone with you. So then when you're talking to the client, you're able to really focus on the value add of, okay, how can we optimize your business? How should you structure your business? And really, that's why they pay you, and that's where so many more firms are trying to go towards value and not just administrative. So this allows you to do that. Now, if you want to continue to call your clients and do those things, you're very welcome to. And many of our firms still have a brick and mortar presence, but this allows you to, if you wish, to fully go remote. If you don't wish, to manage your internal processes amongst your team and be able to know where everything is in the process, and use it to the full extent that you wish.
Well, I send out an organizer,
Mm-hmm.
all right? It comes back.
Mm-hmm.
The way I would do it is I would go over and I would, look at maybe last year's return, see what's on there, and I would ask questions, okay? Now, what's allowed doctors to go and do these virtual examinations is that the AMA, American Medical Association, has come up with this Zoom similar software. It's not Zoom, but it's totally secure, because the examination between the doctor and the patient online has to be totally secure. So what I was asking was, do you know of any companies that, I think I could do something like that as a CPA. But I'd be concerned that if I interviewed the client and, give them the one-on-one, still a service, and I'm charging for the time, all right, is Zoom secure? I don't know if what's out there that I can interview a client on virtual and it's totally secure? The client doesn't have to worry about it getting out to anybody.
Well, what I can tell you is that the messages are fully secure. Everything that you
Okay.
send within TaxDome is fully secure, and it's behind a secure portal. So this is bank level security, and everything that you communicate with to your clients, either through organizers, messages, documents, anything of the sort, anything that is sent to the client through TaxDome is fully secure.
Right, but not, I'm talking about our conversation.
Well,
The conversation I'm having with you today is through.
I don't know the security level of Zoom, to be honest. That's not something I can count on. I mean, sorry, I can comment on rather. But
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, people, I mean, today, I've spoken to a lot of people over the years who are accountants, who, they send something out in the mail. The copy used to be sending out the copy of the tax returns. Maybe they send it through the mail. Now, of course, you don't have to do that. But I spoke to a lot of accountants who said, oh, there is a way. I got to make sure the signature is secure and all this stuff. So, I think the virtual market is going to take off. It's taken off already. But, I don't know if the AI CPA has said, a lot of people are going to start, interviewing their clients on some type of Zoom call. All right. I don't know. I don't think the AI CPA has created any type of program where I can interview you if you're my client, and I don't have to worry. And I can tell the client, don't worry, everything we say is confidential. That's why that's what I was wondering. And I don't expect you to know everything about Zoom, but from your experience, if you can tell me. If you can't, I understand. You can't know everything about everything, but
there are specific. The IRS has released guidelines of security protocols and recommendations, and they call them security checklists that accounting firms should follow in order to protect the information of their clients and to ensure that you're doing the right things. And one of those things includes, as you mentioned, signatures. And signatures, there's specific guidelines for signatures to be legal in the eyes of the IRS for 8879 and 8878, which is called KBA, knowledge-based authentication.
yes.
And everything on that checklist, if you're using TaxDome, will do all that for you. So that's why, from a security standpoint of everything a firm needs to communicate with their clients, that TaxDome provides is fully secure and covers exactly what accountants need. Video calls, I can't speak about.
No, I mean, non-CPAs don't have the ethical problems that the CPAs have, Nothing says that a non-CPA has to have a confidential relationship. They probably do, but, we specifically, as CPAs, have a professional code of ethics. And, I was just curious because I'm sure clients would ask, is this call secure? Okay. And that's why I was just interested, and I'm not trying to get away from what you do, but.
Oh, no, not at all. I mean, security is huge, right? I mean, it's on the top of everybody's mind, and everybody's worried about getting hacked and all those things. And, some of the biggest companies in the world have been hacked, right? It's always on the forefront of people's minds. So we actually have a specific page under product called security that anyone can read, where, it goes really into these kind of the nitty gritty of, various compliance levels and data retention and, the actual nitty gritty of how this all works, including some country specific items. So PAPETA is specifically for Canadians. So depending on, from our standpoint, different countries have some different data storage requirements. So we meet all those for our clients no matter where they are. Okay. But as an example, people in the US, all your data is obviously stored in the US, Canadians, yes. Canada, and so forth.
Okay.
So one of the other things that we mentioned is marketing. So many companies, like this year, as a perfect example, the tax deadline changed, right? And you now need to inform your clients of this upcoming change. How do you do that quickly and easily? You can either call them all manually. You can either send them into hundreds of emails, which will take you or an administrative assistant tons of time. Or you can send, using our tool, bulk emails. So let's say I want to filter for my 1040 clients, and again, this is all fully customizable. Filter for my 1040 clients, and click here, boom, I can send with one click, I can send them all an email, and all these people will get notified of the information that I'm going to write here in this email. So huge time saver. Firms love this by being able to really easily narrow down the scope of clients that they're emailing, and with one click of a mouse, compose an individualized email to that group of people.
How do you know the client got that email you sent them? How do they, I mean, you're sending an email telling them the extended date now is July 15th, right? How do you know to protect you that they actually got an email? Is there any way of checking that?
It would be in your sent box. So this email isn't sent from TaxDome. This is the same exact thing as if you went and sent
Oh, okay.
hundreds of these emails manually, but by using our system, this all happens on the back end automatically.
Okay, I understand. All right, that's good. No, that's important. I'm asking all these, probably these are stupid questions.
Oh, no, these are great questions. I mean, there are no, for lack of a better word, there are no stupid questions, but the fact that you understood it right away shows you how easy it is and that it makes sense, right? And that we've thought through these things. You're asking great questions, but the question is, has somebody thought through them? And that's what our job is, to try to think through all these situations and make sure that we cover them. So right here, I've switched over to our Inbox Plus. So this is what you were talking about earlier of, how do you know what's going on? Is my employee going to be talking a lot behind my back and I won't know about it? If you're on the account, if you're assigned to Charles Burns, when they send emails and messages, you're going to get emails from them in your Inbox Plus. So this won't clutter your actual email, but this is a notification that you can then click, which will take you to that email. You can also create tasks directly from email. So if someone says, hey, can you go do X, click here, and this will create a task right from this message right from there and then. So the way we think of Inbox Plus is this is where you start your day. So you can see what somebody's assigned to you. You can see, who signed up if you did any marketing. You can see, new mails that come in. You can see bills that are paid. And you can obviously filter down for all that information. If I just want to find bills, okay, this is my notifications of bills. I could see Otto is paying lots of bills for $1, cheapskate. And once I'm done with these, okay, done, boom, these notifications are gone. Now I clear them out of the way and I can go about my business. At any point, I can restore those notifications by seeing what's in the done. So really Inbox Plus is, you wake up in the morning, you come into work, this is where you can see, okay, what's happened, what are the notifications that I need to action. See, you were talking about organizer. Your client completes an organizer, you get an email, client completed an organizer, this takes me right to it. And I can see the answers that the client provided. This is just a sample, but you can see from there and then. So the goal was really,
Ilya, you've thought of everything.
well, and either we've thought of it or we're working on it, right? The list is never ending. And that's kind of one of the differences, again, as you mentioned, what's different from us and other companies is, I think any software company has to constantly improve and constantly change, right? So think of a mobile app, think of Zoom, right? These were non-existent 3 years ago. And if you buy a software and it doesn't change and it doesn't improve with the times, you're not going to have the latest features that are needed to run your business. So here, you don't have to have a separate program for mobile app. I mean, there's companies out there that their entire offering is simply a mobile app and they charge more than we do for everything. And a mobile app is just one of the things that's included. So the way we see it is you know exactly what you're paying. You pay for one software outside of your tax program, and you get everything you need to really run your practice. One of the other things that we actually haven't even talked about is we have a website builder. So I'm sure you spend tons of resources on building Yaeger Tax. You have a whole team and so forth. We have a website builder in our program that allows you have hundreds of templates that you can choose from, and you can fill in the information, add some pictures, and you now have a website that's included. You don't have to pay for another vendor that you can use. So especially for small to medium-sized firms, this is huge because this is just one less thing that they have to worry about and one less vendor that they have to pay.
How many years have you been doing this now? How long have you had your software out?
So TaxDome went public last April at the end of tax season. And since then, we've had really great growth, both across the U.S. and Canada and the UK.
Let me clarify. When you say you went public, you're not a publicly owned company.
No. Excuse me. Not publicly owned, but the product was available to clients last April.
This is your second season then?
Second year, yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And are you allowed to share? It's probably, if you can't tell us, I mean, how many people are using your service now?
There are hundreds of firms that are using it, and you can actually, the hundreds of firms that are using it. And as you can imagine, firms have many different numbers of users, but we have over 300, I think it's over 350 reviews now, 355 reviews now on Capterra, which is a independent review site where people leave reviews and they comment on the pros, they comment on the cons, and you can really read about you know, what people like, what people don't like, and you can really see the reviews. But so many of them really, you know, they go into pretty good detail of what's good about us, what's bad, you know, what they're looking for. But I think the number of 355 and 4.8 average really speaks for itself. And this is only in 1 year. So people really love the product. We're growing really rapidly. And I think, you know, it's because of what I discussed earlier is how easy it is to use, and that people are really looking for an easy to use, affordable software that will allow them to really, you know, spend their time on what they do best and not on administrative tasks.
You know, one thing that impresses me amongst many things, but about you, is that you are a true entrepreneur. All right. I mean, you thought, hey, you want to be your own business, right? You want to own your own business, and you created this. And I want to ask you a question. You know, I just thought about this question, and I haven't asked it really to anybody else. So tell me what, if you think it's stupid, tell me. Obviously, you really enjoy your business, correct?
I do.
Now, what part of it makes you want to get up every morning and go into your, well, you're working out of your home now, but what makes you get up every morning and say, this is going to be a great day and I'm looking forward to it? All right. Is there any specific aspect of your business?
5 minutes ago when you said you guys really thought of everything, right? So for us, why we do this is we love solving problems for people. We love making people's life easier. And the sheer fact that we're able to really have a profound impact on the businesses, on many businesses, is really a great feeling. So when we introduce a feature and we know that people have been really waiting for it and they love it, and we're able to save them time, that's really is a great feeling, and it feels really fulfilled. So obviously, you know, there's the aspect of running your own business and doing that, but I love having ownership over something. I love having knowing that when we solve a problem, that makes me feel good, and that I know that that business is able to run more efficiently because of us. And to me, that's a great feeling. And you know, we really want to continue to build on that. And that's why the feature request board is so important for us. Is there's things that we haven't thought of, and many of the ideas that we come up with and many of the features in our pipeline have been requested by different firms, because every firm is different, and the needs of, you know, Yaeger CPA or smaller firms or slightly bigger firms and large firms are all different. And over time, our goal is to really you know, solve all of those problems one by one.
Tell whoever is watching who might want to avail this, you know, this management, what would I call it? A management program that manages your practice more or less. All right. Where do they find you? They go on LinkedIn. Obviously, that's one way, right?
So very simple, taxdome.com. And everything that we showed you here was through this simulated account.
Okay.
So this is just to play around. But what we really recommend is to join our demo. So if you notice in the menu bar at the top, this view demo button, you can join a live demo, which will take you to our Zoom page, and you can pick, you know, the time that you want to attend. And you can see there's lots of webinars. Or if this time is not a good time for you, you can always watch the recording, you know, if you're in other countries or this time zone doesn't work. But we have a daily demo every single day. And this is what we really recommend for everybody, because it's really a great overview of the product, and you get to ask questions. Excuse me. So there's a live Q&A at the end where firms get to ask specific questions of, you know, what they need, and by doing so, you're able to really get an answer really quickly instead of having to go through various salespeople at many other software companies. So we're super transparent, super accessible. Just click the view demo and join the live demo. There'll be one tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, and every day after that.
Do you give the demos yourself, or you have other people doing it?
I do not. We have somebody on the team that does it.
Okay.
I only do the demo, only for you, Phil.
You know, Ilya, I can't tell you how much I appreciate. No, Ilya, you know, the thing I probably speak to you more than anybody else, Ilya, but you know, I try to establish relationships with the people that I meet, and a lot of, you know, and I say a lot of times, and I'm going to be honest, a lot of times someone will say, oh, you had someone on your podcast. And I'll say, gee, let me think about this. But, you know, if someone mentioned your name, I would know you like that. So, and I really respect you because you're an entrepreneur, all right? You want to help people, very important, all right? And you're willing to sell a product and give service. You're not selling a product and saying, good luck to you, don't bother me, all right? There's so few companies still that give service, and they don't realize they're not giving it. They tell you they're going to give you the service, but when you need it and you can't get it, you have to think twice about these companies. And demos, great idea. That's the way we show our review course. All right. They can look at demos and the instructors. All right. And they like that. And, they can relate to the person and say, that person on that demo, I could really understand what they were speaking about. And that's important. So demos, great idea. And I thank you so much. This was very interesting. We've been trying to get this on for a while, and it's been my fault. How many times did I cancel on you? No, there's been a few times, but, and also this COVID virus has been a real pain. It really has. And hopefully one day it'll go away. All right. And I hope it's during the next 6 months, because I think there are people that are pulling their hair out and they're going to become members of the hair club for men, So this virus is very annoying. Anyway, that's another interview. Ilya, thank you so much. Anything else you want to tell the people?
No, Phil, thank you so much for having me. Hope everybody is safe. And thank you for having me on here. Thank you so much.
And you also stay safe, okay? And give everyone in New York my regards as a fellow New Yorker. So anyway, today I had Ilya Radzinsky. Did I pronounce that correct, Ilya?
That's right. That's right.
And Ilya, actually, very interesting. He actually came from Russia, he told me. All right. So now he didn't come over last week. Okay. How old were you when you came here?
I came in 1992, a long time ago. So
you were quite young.
Yes, I came from Ukraine. My family's from Kiev.
Ukraine.
Yeah.
And the question is, did you come here thinking the U.S. has more opportunities? I guess is that what your feeling was?
I don't think I made. I think my parents.
Oh, you were very young,
but yes, they definitely made. It was definitely a huge sacrifice on their end that we're both myself and my brother are very thankful for, and that definitely is that's definitely the reason, right? So that there's opportunity here. There's the ability to be able to really, if you can put forth the effort to really make whatever you want out of yourself. So really thank my parents for having done that, and really blessed to have been afforded the opportunity to grow up in America and in New York, and really be able to pursue what we want.
That's great. And as I said last time, I wish you the best of luck with TaxDome, and I will keep in touch with you. And once again, if you have any questions, you can go to his domain name, his web, TaxDome. It's right up there, taxdome.com. And I'm sure whoever you will talk to there will answer your questions. And also view this demo, all right? Listen to it. See if it fits your needs. Hey, I never had a software, anything to manage my tax returns. I had to manage the inflow, the outflow, and it was and that's manually. And that was a nightmare unto itself. All right. So anyway, take care, Ilya. Stay safe. And hopefully we'll have you on again sometime. Okay. When you come out with some new features you can talk about, that would be interesting.
Happy to.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching CPA Review and More. I try to have more than CPA Review. Okay. So that you're aware of what's going on in this profession. All right. There's more to accounting than worrying about taking the CPA exam. I'm not to say it's not important. It probably is one of the most important things, because without the CPA, all right, you're not going to have the marketability that you will have once you get the CPA. All right. But it doesn't mean passing the CPA exam, you're any brighter than the person who doesn't. All right. But go for it. If you're thinking about it, go for the CPA. It's very important. And then decide what your niche is. Maybe your niche will be taxes, all right? Taxes is a great specialization, all right? And then you can avail yourself of TaxDome. and a software package. So anyway, I want to wish everyone to stay safe and stay well. And I hope that this virus, and I'm sure you feel the same way, I hope the virus, they find out more about it. And I personally don't think it's going to end. You know, they can talk and talk and talk, but we need a vaccine. We have to get a vaccine. This is too much like when I was young and we had polio going around. And, you know, it was the same panic, but they came out with a vaccine. It ended the whole polio, you know, pandemic. It wasn't really a pandemic. It was just, everyone was afraid. All right, do I touch someone with polio? You know, it's sort of like the AIDS thing that happened. All right, so no, they haven't found a cure for AIDS, but they, you know, they can handle. People just automatically don't die anymore from it. And I'm not pushing any specific disease. So please also, all right, be kind to people. This is one thing. I asked someone today, what do you think is going to come out of this pandemic? And he says, oh, I think people are going to be nicer. You know, I was out today. I didn't find anybody really nicer. If anything, I found people being really, you know, they were ready to bite my head off. All right. But you know what? If you're listening, you don't have to be like those people. Be kind to people. All right. That's all we have. We have each other. So anyway, take care, everyone. Watch again next week. We have a different show every week. And if you have any suggestions, all right, you can contact us at Phil.Yaeger, all right, and spell my name right. It's Y-A-E, the A's before the E, Y-A-E-G-E-R, Phil.Yaeger at AOL.com. I have an old AOL account. It's simple, all right? And we like to hear your comments. We'd like to hear what subjects you want us to discuss if you have a specific area. We're there to help you. I give service just like Ilya does, okay? We think the same. Great minds think alike, as I say. So anyway, Ilya, take care. Have a good week, and I'll talk to you again. Thank you, everyone. Stay well.